Randy, thank you so much for coming in for an interview today. We had a few questions for you. First, could you talk about your personal leadership philosophy? Also, can you provide personal examples of qualities you would bring to an organization to make it better?
Yes, thank you. So coming through this class recently, I've really been able to define my personal leadership qualities and experiences much more. And I really believe that my personal leadership qualities and experience can be summed up in the 5 practices of exemplary leadership found in the textbook. First, modeling the way. Second, inspiring shared vision. Third, challenging the process. Fourth, enabling others to act. And fifth, encouraging the heart.
Can you provide personal examples of qualities you would bring to an organization to make it better?
Yes, I would bring to an organization that that I've started from the bottom up. I would bring knowledge that not only am I coming in and being the person in charge, the leader, but I'm also the person who knows where everyone else is coming from. That I know where they've been. That I know how they've gotten to where they need to get to the next step. And so I've walked in their shoes and I've walked where they're walking now.
Now, Randy, you brought up the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. The first one I want to ask you about is modeling the way. Can you talk to me about modeling the way?
Okay, so modeling the way, the textbook defines it as behavior that earns your respect, or the respect of the employees that are under you. And so what that means to me is that as a manager, as a supervisor, I need to garner the respect of my employees by the behavior I exhibit to them. That there should never be anything that they question that I do that can be seen as one way or another. That it should always be true and down to the truth.
Now, Randy, you also spoke about in the 5 practices of exemplary leadership that inspire a shared vision. Can you tell us more about that?
Basically, what that comes down to, or is defined as in the book, is that a force that creates the future. And that's when you as a manager, or as a coworker, or as a leader, inspire your coworkers to have a shared vision or a company vision. Whether that's to excite them in the workplace environment, in a new venture, or a new mode of ventilation, or new therapy, or a new physician coming on board.
Tell us a little bit more about challenging the process.
With challenging the process is defined in the book as you can't achieve success through the status quo. And that to me, as both a therapist and as a leader, really makes me question whether we can do therapies either faster or smarter, better. Can we increase the patient outcome? Can we make better choices, better decisions? It also, with training other therapists on new mode of ventilation or new therapies, when you have therapists been doing this for long periods of time and they feel that the right way is just do it because, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's sometimes a challenge to try to get them on board to achieve a success.
Randy, can you talk to us about enabling others to act? And can you give us a personal example of how it works for you?
So we basically, and it means to achieve greatness requires a team effort. And one of the things we've done in our hospital, especially since we've split into 2 different hospitals, an adult medical center and a children's hospital, as supervisors and leaders in the children's hospital, we've really created a team dynamic. The team really works together, whether it's the neonatal ICU or the pediatric ICU, the peds people, the neonate people really work together. And you can see that when you look in the medical center, the adult world, they're very individualized. we constantly garner that success working as a team.
And finally, you mentioned encourage the heart. Can you talk to us about that?
So encouraging the heart means to show appreciation for individual excellence. And as when we work with the PEDS world, when we're working in the team dynamic, it's somewhat cliche, but the team is only as good as its weakest link. And so we still have to encourage everyone, whether it's the strongest person on the team or the weakest person on the team. And we have to try to build those people up. And so by encouraging those people and showing our appreciation for them, we can hope to push them to achieve greater things.
Randy, can you tell us what you look for in a new hire?
One of the things I look for is confidence. Confidence without arrogance. I want someone who can stand up for themselves and argue a point, but I don't want them to argue every single point. That they always think that they have the right answers to everything. I want them to be able to stand up for themselves, but also be willing to take criticism well and constructively. I also look for eagerness to learn. I'm looking for someone who thirsts for knowledge, not for the knowledge of the basics, coming in and wanting to know how to do everything because they didn't really learn. I'm happy to teach people anything. But I want someone who wants to learn and wants to learn how to do it the right way and to practice it the right way. And I'm also looking for someone who is open to change. I'm not looking for someone to come in with 10 or 20 years of experience and think that their way is the only way. The way they did it at their hospital before is the right way to do it. If they have great ideas on how to do something, then let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Maybe something they have could help us, and we could expand on that. But if someone comes in with multiple years of experience and is open to changing to the way we do things, and then that's great. That's what I'm looking for, someone open to change. The textbook says the key to great leadership is finding great employees, providing them with an exceptional working experience, and allowing them to flourish.
Randy, can you talk about how you go about firing an employee?
The great article written, Becoming a Great Manager, says that successful managers achieve results as well as develop people beneath them. And I think one of the first things you have to do before firing an employee is exhaust all possible avenues of improvement. I think in the initial hiring, you have a certain amount of time, 90-day, 60-day point of termination, that really needs to be looked at. Are they developing well? Those are things that need to be looked at. It really needs to be scrutinized before you decide to continue that person's employment. And then as time moves on, if they develop a point where you think they're not meeting the demands of the department, then you really need to look and see, have you as a manager, as a leader, really tried to encourage them or improved that person or that employee. And in California, I think if you really do have to fire someone, especially in California here, you need to do it with the utmost scrutiny and do it without creating a lawsuit and be able to defend your termination, because I've seen it come to bite the employer in the rear end on many occasions.
Tell us how you plan to motivate current employees.
Well, I call it praise and popcorn. It's mostly verbal. Basically telling people, thank you. You're doing a great job. The way you thought about that, the way you figured that problem out, you did a great job. That's great thinking on your part. But sometimes it has to be tangible. Praise will only get you so far. Sometimes you do have to bring in something, be it hot buttered popcorn at 3 o'clock in the morning to just kind of give everybody that attaboy. Or whether it's, hey, I gave you kind of, you had a kind of a hard night last night. I gave you a little bit lighter workload tonight, thanks to your hard work last night. Or we were able to get an extra body in tonight, so everybody gets a little bit lighter workload. Thanks for your hard work. But just letting your employees know that you're thankful for them. You're thankful for the job that they do. In a book, Strength-Based Leadership, it says that the most effective managers have the capacity to change your life forever.
Randy, what is your greatest weakness as a manager?
I think my greatest weakness is the flip side to my greatest strengths. That I am consistent, I follow through all the time. I'm always do the same. You can find me doing the same. I'm not going to vary different, unless it's strictly needed. I'm a team player. I follow the rules, and I'm always shocked when others don't. And that, I think, is what frustrates me as an employee, as a leader, as a manager. But you'll never know it by looking at me. You'll never know how I feel just by being able to look at me, even when I'm shocked to death by something someone's done.
Randy, do you have any last thoughts?
Yes. In an article titled Frontiers in Public Health by Preeti Nadandi, he stated, competent leadership involves self-awareness, vision, commitment, and motivation.